Welcome to Eric Unfiltered. I am your host, Eric, a Gen Xer from Connecticut, where I get into local and national news, politics, and culture. No topic is off limits, no feelings are spared. No mainstream sugar-coated BS here. Thank you for tuning in. Now let's get on with the show. Welcome back. How is everybody out there doing today? I hope you are doing well. As for me, well, I don't know about you, but this dry winter air is wreaking havoc on my sinuses. I don't know about you, but for me, I could just be having a normal day, having my cup of coffee, and then all of a sudden, I start sneezing my face off. Does that happen to you? It's really annoying. If you have any, it's not an allergy. I've looked it up. I mean, I don't know. Maybe there's something. I don't know. But there's no like ragweed and whatnot. So I don't know what it is. If you have any suggestions outside of running a humidifier that's fueled by like a 55-gallon drum of water, let me know because it is really, really irritating. All right. Anyways. All right, before I get started into my first story is actually the second story from my last episode. If you follow me on socials, I posted a little while ago an apology because my last episode, in my opinion, and in some people that listen, some of you probably think it sucked, but I know the second half, that second story, I bombed that. That was a dumpster fire. There was a total turd, total disservice to you. Definitely not my best effort. I definitely did not want to record that night, but I did anyways. So, my apologies to you. That was garbage. It was a hot dumpster fire. So, I am going to start this episode off with that story, but I'm going to do it better. I couldn't do much worse. That was shite. That was absolute trash. So, I'm going to get into the story that has been huge. Maybe you're not aware of it. Hopefully you are. But if you're not, you're about to learn about the video that has exploded on YouTube that was released by a young journalist by the name of Nick Shirley. So Nick Shirley, he is a 23-year-old journalist. See, he doesn't like to be called YouTuber. He likes to be called journalist. I learned that because of his interview on the Sean Ryan show. If you have not seen it, I highly recommend it. I will be making some points back. I will be referencing that show again later in this segment. But Nick Shirley is a 23-year-old journalist who made a video. He broke a story alleging, again, we got to use these legal terms, alleging on video that on a 42-minute video, but again, alleging that there is an abundance of fraud specifically directed at the Somali community in Minneapolis, Minnesota, involving daycares. So, as I said in the last episode, I did not do any research then. That changed because you got to do that to, do good. So I did a search. I made sure that it was using verified data. So I will get into what the video entails, what it shows and says, and, well, you make your own opinion. Okay, so I'm totally open and clear here. I went to Grok. This was my search. I'm just the messenger here. Again, I'm just covering the story. All right. So this was my search criteria. Using only verified data, what does Nick Shirley's video about the Somali daycares expose? So it says Nick Shirley's video titled something along the lines of, okay, good search, Grok. Very, very, very accurate. Wow. And AI is going to take over. Okay. I investigated Minnesota's billion-dollar fraud scandal. Was posted on December 26, 2025 on YouTube and on X. It is a 42 to 43-minute video piece where he claims to expose widespread fraud in Somali-run or Somali-owned child care daycare centers in Minneapolis, Minnesota. Now, quick pause there. If you go and watch, I listened because I was working. They frown upon you, watching your phone at work. So in his interview on the Sean Ryan show, he goes into much more depth of uh, like being physically attacked, his mom being there and being physically attacked, and stuff like that. He gets into more details. He also covers other stuff that he is either working on or other stuff that he is currently exposing or has exposed in other videos that may have not gotten a whole lot of traction. He talks about other cities and whatnot. It's a great interview. This kid is super poised, wise beyond his years, whether you agree with him or not. Again, I am not sitting here taking a side. Have you noticed that? I haven't taken a side here. I am just talking about the story. All I'm saying is this kid, he is poised for 23. He's going places. He's going to dangerous places. All right. So what the video alleges based on Shirley's claims. Shirley, along with the guide identified only as David, later reported as right-wing lobbyist David Hawk. Okay, so I guess the story goes, Shirley, again, a journalist, you get a tip, you investigate. If there's smoke, you look for fire, right? So I guess he got a message, a random DM from this guy, David, saying, hey, this is what I've been investigating for many years. Nobody wants to listen, yada, yada. And, of course, Nick was kind of like, okay, is this guy just one of these crazy kooks crawling out of the walls? And there are people out there that right now, as soon as I said that, are going, yes, he is. He's absolutely insane. This guy, David's nuts. Okay, I'm not judging. Other people are going, no, this guy he's legit. He's on it. I'm just telling you what I have heard and seen. So Nick wound up, long and short, wound up trusting this guy, wound up hanging out with him, and wound up making this video. So with David, they visited several licensed daycare facilities, and he asserts that these centers, okay, that's all bullet points here, received millions of dollars in public funds, primarily through Minnesota's Child Care Assistance Program, CCAP, which uses federal, state, and county money to help low-income families pay for child care. Okay. Let's see. Do not actually provide child care services. Example, no children present during visits. Facilities appear empty or closed. Staff refuse entry or questions. That was in the video. You can go and watch it for yourself. It's got like 140 million views. It's insanely popular. It's exploded. I'm just reading the Grok search. Don't take my word for it. Go watch the video. Make your own opinion. Look for editing and see. Okay. Next bullet point. Okay. It also alleges they are committing large scale fraud by billing for services not rendered, with claims of over $110 million or similar large figures, in potential misuses across multiple centers. Let's see. Highlights specific examples like the Quality Learning Center, which was a misspelled sign, which should have been Quality Learning Center, which he alleges received around $1.9 million in funds but showed no activity. He frames this as open and blatant fraud. God, why am I stumbling on that? Damn, I'm sorry. I'm going to start that over. He frames this as open and blatant fraud enabled by government oversight failures, often emphasizing the Somali American community running these centers, tying it to broader narratives of taxpayer money being misused. The video went viral at this time on this search, over 140 million views. Was amplified by figures like Elon Musk, J.D. Vance, blah, 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 blah. Nobody cares. So in this video, it shows Nick and David going to daycare centers. And in his interview with Sean Ryan, now I haven't watched this entire video because I'm sorry, I have a busy life. I have a lot to do. But I have watched a decent amount. But in his interview with Sean Ryan, he also stated that apparently it's not just daycare centers, it's also like adult daycare centers or like basically nursing homes that are doing this. Sometimes they will have 2, 3, or just multiple businesses under the same roof because that one location now gets to dip 2 or 4 or whatever multiple times into the tax, money to defraud the state, to defraud you and us, and you, me, and everybody. Isn't that awesome? Now, this is what the video alleges. Obviously, there's people pushing back. And the people that are pushing back going, you're just racist, shut up. You're an idiot. I think I speak for most logical people, whether you are a Republican, Democrat, Independent, or upside down head people. I think I speak for the most normal people. We don't care what somebody looks like if they are stealing our money. We don't care where they are from, where they were born, what flag they salute. If they are stealing our money, we really don't care about any of that, right? So whether they are Somali-based daycares or Polish-based daycares or Canadian-based daycares, if there is fraud, whether Democrats pay taxes, Republicans pay taxes, we all pay taxes. So if they're stealing money from one of us, they're stealing money from all of us, right? But no, there's people going, well, he's just being racist. Shut up, you idiots. If you want to push back against Nick Shirley and his friend David and his video, fine. But watch the video. There have been, allegedly, big outlets like CNN and the such that have gone to these locations and, oh, see, it's running. There are children here. Okay, but in Nick's video, there wasn't. So what happened? I don't know. I'm asking the questions, and I'm not alone. There's a lot of people asking questions. But again, if there's some smoke and you smell it, let's look into it. Which bears the question. People were questioning all of this fraud. The video explodes. Tim Pool's talking about it, right? Fox News, the big outlets, whether the people are talking about it against Nick Shirley and, trying to poo-poo the video, or the outlet is talking in favor of it, it's being broadcast. It's the normies are talking about it. And then the governor of the state, whom just, a year ago could have been vice president, is now bowing out of the governor's race. And then there were rumors he was going to vacate the seat, and he has stated that he's not. I don't care. Personally, I don't care. It doesn't affect me. But he dropped out of the race. And of course, political people are going to go, oh, that means he's connected. Or he knew something. We need investigation. I agree, we need investigations. Do I like Tim Walz? No. Are you insane? No. To be honest, no, I don't. There's nothing about the guy I like. But am I going to sit here and say him bowing out of the governor's race means he's connected to this daycare fraud scheme? No, I'm not going to say that. Could he? Sure. All things are possible. Sure, Ilhan Omar could be connected to it too. I mean, she is, from, right? But am I going to sit here and say, yes, definitively she is? No. I want an investigation, like all of us should. That is where, for me, and other people I have listened to and spoken to is the confusion. You can sit here or you can watch Nick Shirley's video, and you could, is this kid really, is he for real, or was this edited? Are these two genuinely racist and they did this video to make these people look bad? Wouldn't you just at least want to ask the questions? Hey, not law, but officials, could you at least investigate what these people are alleging? Because if you find nothing, one, that would be awesome. And I am actually being serious, because not that I want, not that I'm saying that that video is wrong. No. And I'm not saying I want Nick Shirley to be proven wrong. No. But if an investigation is had and no fraud, genuine investigation, because I know somebody out there is listening and go, well, who's going to do the investigation? If they're politically aligned with this, rebel. I know. I hear you. I think the same thought. I know. I am saying what I'm saying, and I'm arguing with myself as well. But I want in a fairy tale world, I would love a genuine investigation. And if there was if there was no fraud found, hey, Sally sells seashells by the seashore. All right, if there was no fraud found, then okay, everybody can point their finger and go, hey, you lied, okay, fair enough. All the haters can hate. Bring on the haterade. But if there is an investigation and they do in fact find that millions, okay, maybe not billions, at least not in Minneapolis, because there have been other YouTube journalists, we'll call them, that have been on the ground exposing other stuff like this, not just in other Somali, demographics, but in other demographics across our country doing similar fraud schemes. Hey, I got it right that time. So Nick Shirley's video is not the only one. But again, you also have to be careful, as I posted online regarding the other stuff. You got to be careful with AI videos now. So again, do your due diligence. Regardless of what side you align yourself politically, do your diligence. Don't just go, I saw that video and it made me angry. No. Pump the brakes. Back up. Verify. Please. There's enough haterade being spread around now. We don't need more. But if it is indeed found that there was widespread fraud, who was in charge of this stuff? I want names. We all should want names. And again, I don't care what political affiliation. I don't give a damn. It does not matter. It is irrelevant. I don't care how tall they are, how fat they are, where they were born, who they sleep with, how many people they have slept with, what they make every month on OnlyFans. I don't care. Whoever was involved, I want them in shackles and thrown in jail. I want everybody. Not just the low-hanging fruit, the paper pushers that accidentally, wink, wink, lost. No. Go right to the snake, right to the head of the snake. And if somebody like Tim Walz and Ilhan Omar is there, great. Yay, perp walk them. Yay, we get the photos and everybody cheers. Whoop-de-woo. Me personally, I don't care. They broke the law, put them in shackles. I don't care who it is. If it's a high-profile name, great. If it's not, I don't care. Put them in jail. Do the investigation. Either we point at Nick Shirley and go, you were bamboozled, you were fooled, you look like a schmuck now, or Nick Shirley, Pulitzer Prize. I don't know. Amazing journalism. You are fantastic. Pat the kid on the back and say, keep going. And then you turn and look and go, okay, you're going to jail, you're going to jail, you're going to jail. That's what should be done. But no, people are fighting against Nick Shirley instead of what was in the video. Do a deep dive then. It wasn't you showed up on Wednesday and went, well, look, children are here today. Well, clearly the video's bullshit. No, no. This wasn't like he showed up one day. No, do you know what an investigation is? This isn't like, oh, we heard that there's an accident on 91 North near exit 32. Could you go check that out? I'll go look at the camera. Yes, indeed, there is an accident. No, no, this is a long time thing. That guy David apparently been doing it for like years. That's a lot of information. It takes a long time to expose stuff. You know, the feds didn't bust the mafia in a month. It took years and years and a lot of hours and a lot of people. This took, what, 2 dudes? Or I don't know, maybe they got a team. I don't know. I know Nick goes out with, his mom is there, it's supporting him and all that. So I don't know. But why would you fight against this kid? Why wouldn't you question the authorities? Are you going to investigate this? If you are not, why? What are you hiding? If you are, when will we get, results? Who is in charge of this? How many people are involved? When should we hear, the first draft of your investigation? Do your job, journalists. That's what Nick Shirley is doing. Stop being parrots. Do real journalism. I'm not a journalist. I'm just an a-hole with a microphone. Nick Shirley did the hard work. And I hope I did that story a better service than I did yesterday or last episode. I don't know when I'm releasing this, but I hope I did a better job on the story in this episode. So yeah, apparently there is widespread fraud with daycare centers and leering centers in Minneapolis, Minnesota that just so happens to be overwhelmingly owned by people of Somali descent. Just so happens. Just saying. It is what it is. People could sit there and go, oh, well, people are just saying that. They're racist. Hey, stop. Question for the people that are screaming racist. I have a question for you. But I'm going to pause real quick because I need a sip of coffee. I need some more fuel. Hold on a sec. All right, sorry about that. So, question for those of you that are pointing their fingers at Nick Shirley and those that are supporting him and screaming, you're just racists towards these Somalis. I have a question for you, a legitimate one. I'm not being sarcastic, but I have a point to make. If your friend came to you and said, hey, what are you doing on Friday? And you're like, nothing. Why? What's up? And they're like, hey, you want to go to the movies? There's a new movie coming out, and I'm dying to see it. And you're like, all right, screw it. Let's go. What's it about? And your friend says to you, it's a mobster movie. Like mobsters. Not monsters, not like Godzilla. Mobsters. What is your first thought about the demographic of the cast? I can guess. I can read your mind. You're thinking like The Godfather, Goodfellas, Casino. You're thinking Italians, right? Here's the question. Doesn't Russia have mobsters? They're not Italian. And I would, not from experience, but I would highly recommend that you would not go up to a Russian mobster and act like an Italian one. Yeah, I would not recommend that. Unless you like pain. If that's your thing, man, rock on with your bad self. Isn't there mobsters in Japan? I thought there was also Chinese mobsters. But I get it. I get it. We're all programmed that way. If somebody says, do you want to go see a movie about mobsters or gangsters, you're not thinking, Boys in the Hood style gangster. You're thinking, I'm making them an offer, right? Okay. So just because somebody is exposing the Somali daycare stuff, it doesn't mean all Somalis across America are thieves and frauds. Just the percentages of those in Minneapolis that are on the government dole Ooh. Yeah, should I get into that too? Yeah. I should probably get into that. So, no, I'm not gonna. Look into that. Look into yeah. But again, just because Nick Shirley is exposing what he is alleging that he is exposed is overwhelmingly in the Somali part of the city does not mean all Somalis are fraudsters and shysters. Correct? Correct. Just like it means not every Italian is in the mob. Okay? Okay. So I hope I did a better job on the story today. That is the general synopsis of this story. And Nick Shirley has also said that he is not stopping. He has also had lots of death threats, so he has pissed off a lot of people. His family has had death threats. They have been doxxed. If you don't know what doxing is, DOXXING, it's when, well, all of your personal information is leaked on the internet to all of your enemies. Where you live, your phone numbers, yeah, all that good stuff. Yeah, so he has pissed off a lot of people, and I don't know why people would be so angry at someone for exposing fraud. Why would you be mad at somebody exposing theft? Why? That would be like your neighbor coming over to you with a black eye and saying to you that her husband beats the crap out of her, and you look at her and go, okay, well, go home. Why are you here? That's weird. Or smacking her in the other eye for telling you. How dumb is that? I don't know. I'm just a weird person that would want to know who is stealing my money and where I'm going to get it back. I'm just strange. Okay, sticking with insulting the entire Somali population of the country, on to story number 2. I am so sorry, but I have to cover it. So, literally ironically, there was a quote by Mayor Wu of Boston in December of 2025 when she made a comment about the Somali community within Boston that drew the ire of many, raised some eyebrows, and then the whole Nick Shirley video hit, and a lot of people just, like me, we couldn't stop laughing. So the quote from Mayor Wu is, "You cannot talk about any achievement that the city of Boston has had in safety, jobs, and economic development in education without talking about the Somali community that has lifted our city up." End quote. Okay, a lot of people raise some eyebrows at that quote. Now, look, there's nothing wrong with praising a community for, doing good things. Okay, fine. Whatever. The reason why it drew the ire or the questions was because people were like, "I'm sorry, Mayor Wu. I'm sorry." Not saying that through the development of America and Boston from its founding that there weren't people from Somalia that helped create, build, and change and advance this great city. But it's currently at like around 1% of the population. How much of a huge... Okay. But why specifically that 1% of the population are you like it's just so weird. And then the video from Nick Shirley came out, and a lot of people again looked at her and went, "Wait, what?" And then people started digging into some of the numbers. Now, I personally could not find any of the numbers regarding specifically Boston and the Somali community, but some people did investigate and found some interesting numbers because the similar sentiment was said in Minnesota after the Nick Shirley YouTube video. And they said, again, that these people are great for our community. Again, Nick Shirley's just racist, and so on and so forth. And people looked into some of the numbers, and key figures came out from the years of 2014 to 2023 regarding Somali immigrant households, specifically in Minnesota. This is statewide, not just Minneapolis. Statewide. Again, these people are praising this goes along the whole immigration argument, which I love. People are complaining about people coming in. This is why people start talking about this whole Civil War stuff, which we don't want to do. You really don't. But why people are so angry. People can't afford to pay their groceries. Some young journalist exposes fraud, gets pushback. Officials come to the defense of this population because of political optics instead of saying, hey, we're not going to target these people, but we are going to look into this and we will get to the bottom of it. Fair enough. But no, that's not even the statement. That even if they came out and said that just to blow smoke up our backsides, no, they immediately come to the defense of a certain group specifically for political optics, which I don't like. I don't like that. But these numbers are kind of alarming because in Minnesota alone, around 81% of Somali immigrant households receive some form of welfare, including SNAP, Medicaid, and cash assistance. 54% are on SNAP and 73% are on Medicaid. People are having a hard time. Republicans, Democrats, independents, and everybody in between. Crazies from the far left falling off the cliff to the crazies on the far right falling off the cliff, and everybody in between, like you and me, are having a hard time paying our bills, paying daycare, paying our insurance, buying lumber to fix the stairs, just to put food on the table, gas in the car, pay the electric bill. Everything is expensive, especially here in Connecticut. And then you have a young man exposing widespread fraud. You have political officials coming to the defense of a community. And then you go into the numbers and you go, dude, not all of them are defrauding us illegally. There's 81% of them defrauding us legally. I can't pay for food. And why are you defending? What are you doing? Why the knee-jerk reaction? Can't you just go, let's look into this and then punish those that are doing wrong? Let's look at the 81%. And I'm not just specifically, actually, let me rewind that. Let me rewind that for a second. Not just the 81% of the Somalis in Minnesota that are on welfare or some form of assistance. Not specifically the Somalis in Minnesota. Everyone, in my opinion, every state from Maine, California, Florida, Texas, Oklahoma, North Dakota, Pennsylvania, all of them. I'm not going to list them. You probably don't know them either. Every state should investigate every Somali. Oh, wait, no. Everybody that is on state assistance. I don't care if they're American-born, Somali-born, Canadian-born, I don't care where they're from, South Africa, Zimbabwe. I don't care. I don't care if they're from Portugal or Brazil or Panama. If they are on state assistance or government assistance of any form, there should be an investigation into every file. I know, a long, daunting task that will never happen. I know. But we should have that. Because maybe then our taxes could go down, or the abundance of money that would remain, we could either get a windfall or actually fix our roads and actually, help the homeless and actually benefit humanity. Not just Americans, but humanity as a whole. But that's never going to freaking happen. Unreal. Absolutely unreal. People are coming to the defense of a group of people. Really? Stop. Stop with this political ideology, political posturing nonsense. If there's smoke, look for fire. If there's fire, you put it out. That's it. You put it out. If I lived in an apartment building with 100 units, do you honestly think I'm going to like every one of my neighbors? No. Odds are hell to the F no. Or they just won't like me. Yeah, let's just put it that way. 97 of them won't like me. But if the building catches fire, I notice smoke coming from the neighbor's apartment across the hall, I'm going to go in there and try to save them and the building. Because if we all lose, we all lose. If we're all getting defrauded, we should probably stop that, whether it's Somali or not. Right? Right. Okay, I think I've droned on long enough with this. Thank you for tuning in. If you would like to keep up with my rantings, you can follow me on X. That's definitely the most explicit place. I am on X at Eric Not Sorry. You can follow me on Facebook as well at Eric Unfiltered. And I am also on YouTube. Sorry, no video camera yet. Still kind of shy. I'll get there one day. Anyways, thank you for tuning in. If you like this, give it a share, like, and all that good stuff. You know the internet social stuff. And until next time, keep being you.